To find them, imagine their world. If aliens exist and they started just a billion years before us, then they've had a billion years to build, expand, and evolve. But evolution isn't smooth. To last that long, they would have survived civil wars, betrayals, rebellions, and collapse over and over again. They've faced immortality, reprogrammed their own minds, and solved command, control, and loyalty problems across entire star systems. In a billion years, they've mastered both destruction and compassion in ways we can't begin to imagine. So if we want to understand why the galaxy is silent, we have to stop asking where they are and start imagining the kind of being that survives a billion years. What are its goals? What do you do with eternity? They don't want our dirt. We assume aliens would either conquer us or contact us, but why? We have nothing they need. A billion-year-old, technologically advanced alien empire has moved beyond biological bodies. They don't eat, they don't breathe, and they definitely aren't stopping by for a kombucha. Their energy comes from stars, or maybe even direct mass-to-energy conversion. They can fuse atoms, reformat matter, and build anything they want from scratch. They don't send ambassadors, because we have nothing to trade. They don't invade, because there's nothing to take. We imagine Earth is special, but to a post-scarcity superbeing, we're just more stuff. Endless wars. If evolution has taught us anything, it's that life is a struggle for survival. And aliens, no matter how advanced, are not exempt. They are locked in a death struggle, rival factions, civil wars, intergalactic overlords, a cycle of war that never truly ends. It isn't easy, and it isn't free. Even with star-powered machines and godlike tools, they still face limits. They must ration energy, rebuild what's lost, and defend against threats they can't predict. Stealth is survival. Their enemies are watching, tracking energy signatures, fleet movements, and calculating for any weakness. Most of their resources are tied up reinforcing strategic strongholds, fighting to gain or hold key positions across the galaxy. They don't have time to send fleets to every funny little planet, and they can't risk drawing attention with flashy weapons. But even quiet zones like Earth have to be managed. Containment must be silent, because being seen is a vulnerability. They're still watching, and they're still in control. Silent control. How does a galactic superpower manage a remote chunk of rock like Earth? Do they send a fleet across light years just to swat down a species still figuring out electricity? Do they fire a giant energy beam and reveal their position to every rival in the galaxy? Do they burn resources to crush something that might self-destruct anyway? Or do they choose something else? Quiet containment is cheaper, safer, strategically sound. Nudge an asteroid, a million years later it lands on target. Seed a virus, it resurfaces every century, just enough to keep us in check. And maybe it's already happened. The dinosaurs vanished overnight. Ancient empires, maybe even Atlantis, gone without explanation. Floods, ice, volcanic winters. No beams, no fleets. Just resets, efficient, silent, routine. And if we're nearing the threshold again, maybe the next one is already in motion. The expansion trap. In the last scenario, we imagined a billion-year-old civilization expanding rapidly, only to collapse into endless civil wars and rival factions. But maybe they were smarter than that. Maybe something changed their course before things spiraled out of control permanently. They colonized their first nearby star system, a major milestone, but also a turning point, because even at light speed, messages took 10 years round trip. How do you govern from that distance? How do you enforce a law when it takes 5 years just to learn it was broken, and decades for a reactionary force to arrive? The colony declared independence. A long war followed. Order was restored, but only after centuries of conflict. They saw the truth. Expansion without full control just seeds rebellion. They don't just face enemies, they create them. So they stopped. They turned inward and began a new kind of project. A billion years project. They turned inward to build the only thing that could survive the stars. A system with zero drift, zero noise, zero surprises. Because a true galactic empire can't tolerate error, not when the smallest breakdown means collapse. So they began the great project, not just cultural unification, but mastery of reality itself. They had to uncover the most fundamental physical laws, beyond quantum theory, beyond string theory, all the way down to the zero-point flux. They forged a system that controls space, time, and matter with near total precision. Every atom aligned, every action synchronized, every choice pre-calibrated. It took them a billion years inside a technological cocoon. But when they emerged and resumed their conquest of the stars, they had a perfect system. Faster than light communication, and a self-replicating reality bubble that spreads wherever they go. And that's why we don't see them, because expansion is slow, cautious, tested at every scale. And the more perfect the system becomes, the slower it grows. But when it reaches us, we won't see ships in the sky, we'll see reality shift, our world rewritten at the zero flux level. We'll meet them as we're absorbed into their reality. The truth is out there. The aliens are out there and we can find them. But to do it, we'll have to use our imaginations. They're a billion years ahead of us, but not perfect. They still fight battles, and those battles leave traces. They alter their environments, and those changes reveal their presence. We'll find clues in what doesn't add up. A sudden burst of unexplained energy, a shift in gravity that breaks our models. Maybe even dark matter is a sign that gravity is already being engineered in our own galaxy. There's every reason to believe they're out there, and if we look hard enough, sooner or later we'll find them. Maybe, as we uncover their path, we can start to envision our own.